Alright. Hi, I, Sailor Moon, Serena, and I, Sailor Earth, Ernest here. And today we're going to talk about only girls can be fighters or keepers or whatever you want to call them. Is the oversight meant to be followed or is it meant to be broken? In the Sailor Moon followership, there are going to be folks who come up with this oversight, or they say that there's an oversight that says only girls can be fighters or keepers. Now, a lot of folks like to say that it came from TAKECHI, if I'm even saying her name right, the one who drew and wrote Sailor Moon, which Toei offshooted into a drawing film, and you get the rest. Some folks say that she said it, but no one truly seems to know if she truly said it or not. There really doesn't really seem to be any truth to back up either way of her saying it or not saying it. And some of these folks will say, oh, well, why is it that all the sailor fighters during all the 5 followings are all women? I don't know. The belief was that Neko Takenchi, felt that women, at least in the Sailor Moon world, should be a little more stronger and free. Not to say that women aren't strong and free in the true world, because they are, but I guess she felt that she wanted to make an all-woman offshoot of the Might Keepers, and that may have been the grounds for it, and felt that they would be strong enough by themselves and free enough by themselves. Well, if that was so true, which I'm not going to say it is or is not, then the Sailor Starlights would have been, half and half. Because the Sailor Starlights seem to go against that whole oversight once you get to the 5th following. Once you get to Dustin and Jordan and Julian, who might be, well, Dustin and Jordan are the only 2 men of the Sailor Starlights. And I know there's going to be a lot of folks out there to have a fight over who is or who is not, But Sailor Star Maker and Sailor Star Healer are, Sailor Star Maker and Sailor Star Fighter are, men. Yes, I know when they shapeshift, they take on women body slights, I know. And that made it why no one wanted to work with it. And that goes against that whole oversight. But then someone says, oh, well, they shapeshift into women when they do shapeshift, so it doesn't go against the oversight. Is it a true thing or not? And a lot of folks like to bring up how Neo Takenchi was unhappy with Toei, how they made the Sailor Starlights the main selves instead of being less selves. Okay, there were 4 followings, and a lot of things were shifted around between the 4 followings, and no one cared. But by the 5th following, you want everything to match up with the books. Well, you can't really do that. At least not now. You're right. You want to say something about that, Sailor? Oh yeah, you're right, Sailor Moon. I don't think she ever said that. I don't know if she came up with the oversight or she said it, but folks said she did. Doesn't really seem to be any truth that she herself said it. But there are a lot of folks seem to say that all the time. And that seemed to be the grounds to why in the early days a lot of folks seemed to be saying stuff that we had no. And that seemed to be why a lot of folks out there, well, you know what, even if it was a oversight, then Toei was the only one that had to follow it and uphold it. No one else had to. Not us making films here on YouTube, not the folks who were out show playing. and not the folks that were out gathering the dolls, and not us doing doll shows or whatever you want to call them, you know. And some folks out there under the belief that anyone can be a sailor fighter or a sailor keeper. You know, you just got to give them longs when they shapeshift, alright? No big deal. Like me, you know? And I don't know if there's any truth to back up that being a true oversight or not. I mean, nowhere can I truly find any truth to back up that she said it or did not say it. But yes, there may be some truth to say that she felt that she wanted to give the sailor fighters or the sailor keepers, whatever you want to call them, a little more strength and freedom to be by themselves and fight as a team, and felt that, you know, and she may have felt that they didn't need men to do their fighting for them or to need men to help them or fight them. But then if that was true, then tuxedo masks would have been not needed at all then. So right off the lead, that kind of goes against that thought or belief. And when you go to the mic keepers have both men and women. So I don't really think, so there's no oversight against that. So anyway, I don't know if it's a true oversight, but I never followed it. And I knew there were friends on YouTube who never really didn't put that much stock into it either, you know. And I being Sailor Earth, so if you don't want to see Sailor Star Fighter and Sailor Star, you know, Maker as as the first men sailor fighters, then seeing me as Sailor Earth as the first man sailor fighter or keeper, whatever you want to say. Or if you don't want to see that, then there's always Snoop Dogg, Calvin Cosler as Sailor Sun. Oh, alright, yeah, you're right. Well, back to you, Sailor Moon. Alright, you're right, Sailor Earth. At the end of the day, is it a true oversight? I don't know. I don't know who came up with it. Some say TAKECHI came up with it. Others say she didn't. There's really no truth to back it up either way. Some folks say that it is an oversight. But if it is, then only Toei has to uphold it and follow it. No one else does. And if there's anyone else out there telling anyone they do, well, I don't think so. You know? And at the end of the day, if you choose to uphold it and follow it, well, that's your own business. But we broke it a long time ago. And it was broken by Dustin and Jordan, Sailor Star Fighter, and Sailor Star Maker. You know. And it was later on broken by Sailor Earth here, Ernest. Well, thank you. And it was later on broken by Calvin, you know, Snoop Dogg, you know, with Sailor Sun. So anyway, it is what it is, you know. Tell me what you think. Is it a true oversight? Do you think folks have to uphold it or follow it? Or is that only something that TAKECHI and Toei have to uphold and follow? Since one came up with it, the other one has to uphold and follow it. If you like this film, follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the last film we made yesterday over here, where Sailor Moon and Sailor Pluto gave their thoughts about, is we not getting enough watch time on, are we making our films the wrong way? And that's why we're not getting enough watch time in looking. I, Sailor Earth Serena, I, Sailor Earth Ernest, we hope you like this film, know what I mean? Yeah, and you leave me in the end of the film.